So we are essentially still inside of initiative. I think how this is going to play out is we'll give you all an opportunity to actually speak while you have like sight of things at hand. But you'll essentially have um, Eric coming in from a random direction and some level of like a random distance away. Depending on how long he can get there, you guys are going to have to kind of plan um, how you're going to actually share the information with him once he gets there, um, to how like the three of you want to proceed, as well as just the general idea of like right now planning a little bit more properly what you actually want to do here. Um, it is still, even with four people, um, probably a pretty deadly fight. And it's definitely a question of up to you guys how you want to proceed. There's a certain level of you could go one way or the other. But take a few moments to kind of discuss and try to figure out with a look kind of what's before you here.
TM, I have a question. Did I take by any chance have a short or long rest between any of that, or am I keeping my current stats that I have?
You should effectively have a long rest here.
So are we missing Al today, or is he just running late?
Now, Al said at some point yesterday that he can't make it today. Yeah, he said last night at like 9 that he won't be able to make it.
And what were you saying about Eric and how far away he is?
Essentially, how it'll play out is he'll be coming from a random direction and a random number, a random distance away. He's not like instantly going to be thrown into this mix. There's no simple way to just add somebody into a combat.
All right. Well, we're relatively sure, Key, that the bottom witch. Well, we know she's bloodied. We know the top one is getting there, but not quite bloodied yet. And then the middle one is untouched. It's about to be my turn, or it is my turn, and I know that you are unconscious and a bore. So my goal is to punch you, wake you up, and shift you out of boar form. And then after that, I'll probably have like one or two other actions left to go. So the real question is, do we want to just try to grind it out until Eric gets there? Do we want to try to do some like tricky stuff and, split them up or get out of like the little windmill right now? Do we want to focus on knocking one of them down? I don't know what you think. I also don't know what you have resource wise, but I'm pretty much tapped.
Well, I'm not a spellcaster so much anymore, so I'm a bunch of melee right at the moment. But I'm not sure if we could pull anything sneaky at the moment with how it's going. Because we're basically in a giant circle. So it doesn't really look like there's like a way to like get in or out safely because there's only one entrance. So I say wake me up would probably be the best option, and we'll take out the bloody one first. And we'll just have to, I guess, wing it from there.
Is that sufficient planning for you all?
Well, I lightweight think that if we could kind of like split them up or get maybe like outside to kind of get some distance. Maybe we could like outmaneuver them a little bit, something like that. I don't know what options there are or what potential there is or what anybody's hit points look like. But I mean, I think we're gonna have to be crafty and just hope that Eric gets there sooner than later. And then also, are we just gonna kind of decide what Al does?
Yeah, effectively, one of the things about him dropping out is he can't just leave this combat. He started this already weak. He is near bloodied, but still above bloodied. I don't think it makes sense for him just to be able to step away from such a dangerous experience. Um, unless it's just to force you all to say, like, his stake is in, we need to run the fuck away.
Well, if you want to get outside, I think the best one is take out the bottom witch, then try like get past the other two. It's hard to tell like with how this map is laid out, but I believe I'm like on like the stairs and probably at the top of the stairs at that. So I'm not sure how like the jumping distance is.
Yep, you're basically on the second level. Like, you're just a couple of stairs down from the second level. Sarkis is probably like 6 or so feet below you to his head while he's there fighting.
So if anything, I could just like hope for the best and jump out the second story window. If we really want to try to escape this.
Well, we could try to buy ourselves some time. I don't know anything specifically, nor would my character, about like witches or hags or whatever they are, but potentially we could like leave and come back after a short rest and be like resourced up again and them not be, hopefully, because most spellcasters I think like require pretty much a long rest. I don't know if that's going to be relevant or if that will be an option, but as far as like running away and regrouping, I think there's also some potential there. Now, ideally, we would be able to take one of them out and then get away, but I don't know if that's going to be an option, honestly.
If we were to take one of them out, it would probably be the one closest to the door because you said that's the one that's wounded, correct?
Yeah, for sure. And the one up top is wounded but not bloodied. But realistically, if we get a short rest in when we come back, they may be out some of their spells, but they're definitely going to be like healed up, I think. But if we could take one completely out right now and then get away, or just stick through it and fight, I think we have the best chance of defeating them versus coming back, a different day and then being completely full of spells and healed up and know we're coming type deal.
I think it depends on the mechanics because I believe wizards required a short rest to like regain everything they have. So they're going by wizard mechanics. Then they just need a short rest. If not, then it's typically a long rest, unless otherwise stated.
All right. Well, I think that's probably the plan then.
So we'll have 3 rolls coming from Eric. First one is a D4.
One second. That didn't roll, did it? Didn't roll. Why is my Beyond 20 not working?
If you're just rolling a normal die, you can roll that in roll 20. Just on the left side, there's a polyhedron. Looks like a d20. If you just scroll over it, it'll give you a little drop down menu and just select the d4 on the left side of the screen. And then roll a d8. And this will tell you which corner you're going to be coming in from. Northeast is 1, and it'll go clockwise. And then roll an initiative. So we will start with Sarkis.
Okay, so I'm going to attempt to hit the pig and wake it up / unpolymorph it. Do I have my staff right now? I can't remember. I do have it, right?
I can see why not.
Huh, I don't know what's going on. It like unequipped my stuff. Oh man.
That's one-handed.
Two-handed for the staff. I might have to use an inspiration on that. I don't know how hard it is to hit a pig, and I really need this to hit.
Yeah, 2 right now.
Yeah. Damn. I guess I'll let it go through and just see.
You are going to hit her. It is indeed going to go through. And Nunya, you will take 2 damage to your human form. If you did 7 damage, she would have stood back up with 1 hit point, still as a boar.
Oh, right. Yeah, two-handed for sure, though. I'm glad I did the staff then, because I might not have woke her up with the other weapon. So she's awake and now herself, right?
Indeed, yep. So she takes 2 damage like that flows over, but other than that, she's prone on the ground. But she is otherwise awake and herself.
Okay, gotcha. So that was my first attack of my action. So I could still do another attack. Yeah, okay. So I think I'm going to. Can I tell? Is she like bloodied or anything, or is she like look okay to me?
Are you over 50% hit points, Nunya?
I'm at 32 out of 42. I'm only missing 10.
So you can't see anything. She looks full hit points to you.
Okay, cool.
When I ask percentages, it's for a particular reason that I want to hear percentages, because he needs a test to have any understanding of your hit points if you're not at 50% or at 25%. Those are the 2 things that are visually there.
Yeah, I'm just absolute garbage at figuring out quick math like that, though.
Am I on the field yet or not?
Nope.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to like spin around backwards away from the witches. Oh, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I'm gonna just run down towards that bottom witch and attack her.
Where are you moving to? Gotcha. So the one that is east of Kavi, or of Nunya, is going to swing out at you. She should hit. And she's going to do
I don't know. I have 17, so you can tell me.
19. So she's going to do 12 points of slashing damage to you.
Okay, and then as I like step down there, I'm gonna pull out my dagger and I'll say, "Once I pull my dagger from its sheath, it cannot be returned until it spilled blood." And I'm gonna point at the southern witch and I'm gonna hex her.
Wisdom saving throw, DC 13, 14 for me.
I don't know. Does it just go off my normal thing because it's from the ability?
It should say under the ability, but I have a feeling, yeah, it should just be your normal. If it's a wisdom saving throw, it's probably just your normal DC.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, the 2 will definitely fail. So, and then I guess I'm gonna curse her on strength, I guess. And then I will use my last attack as a unarmed strike against her.
Solid hit for 12 more.
And that is all I've got.
As you run past her, the hag to the north of you, Sarkis, is going to reach out her arm and she's going to start to follow your skull as black tendrils are going to start flowing from your skull, almost like your hair flying through the wind and into the palm of her hand. And she's just going to pull further and further away from you as a shadow starts to come out of the back of your skull. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Don't tell me right away because I may inspiration it. No, thank you. Oh, no, I'm not modifying that, but also I'm saying no thank you to her out loud.
And then it's going to go to Flea.
So we're gonna do with Flea, dagger attack against the southernmost witch. Does he have to do something special to gain sneak attack, or does it count that I'm next to him is okay?
With you there, as long as he doesn't have disadvantage, he gets sneak attack. If he has disadvantage, there's nothing that he can do to gain sneak attack.
Okay. So by moving there, I did make it so he'll get sneak attack. So yeah, we'll do a start with a single dagger attack against her for his action.
Crit is a powerful single dagger attack.
Let's go, Flea. So
38 damage.
Oh my god, let's fucking go.
She's severely bloodied.
Okay,
And
so I think a second dagger attack bonus action or a what are his other options he could do? Either a dodge or a disengage?
yeah, he's got fast hand, dash, disengage, or hide.
What do you think, Kavi? Go for the extra attack to try to drop her. With his second attack, which he doesn't do a lot of damage with his regular attack, or go for a dodge is probably not that relevant because they haven't been using a ton of melee. But
He
could
doesn't
have.
have dodge.
Oh,
That's monks that have the dodge.
I thought you
He's
said
got
dodge. Or
dash,
disengage.
disengage, or hide.
Oh, okay. So the other option would be to try to disengage, and then like run outside, potentially like stopping himself from being a target. I think maybe just go for the damage.
I was gonna say let's just go for the damage.
And just a wee little baby paper cut.
They can't all be winners.
I mean, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, I mean, if she's severely bloodied, we don't know if that means 1 hit point or 20, but we know she's getting there at least.
The hag standing over top of Nunya is going to start to just like dig into her with her claws and start raking into Nunya. She should hit. And oh damn, it's not an auto crit if you're not unconscious. Damn, that was probably a bad choice. And it's going to do 8 slashing damage to you. And it's going to go to you, Nunya.
I'm still prone, correct?
You are indeed.
Alright, I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna attack her with a double short sword.
Wait, who are you attacking?
The one who just attacked me.
All right, first attack is going to hit. What is it? Colossus Slayer is the first time in a turn, or if they've taken damage?
Once they took damage.
And is it every time, or is it only the first time?
Once per turn.
Gotcha. So you'll hit her for 13, and then the second attack, she's going to be able to deflect the next sword attack.
I can't remember from last week. I know we determined that one of the hags is like 17 defense. Do we, or witches? Do we know if they're different? Did we notice that or observe that or not for sure?
I don't necessarily think there's a particular reason for you to know, but they are the same creature.
Okay.
Yeah, put it behind a religion check. You've got religion with Sarkis, right? Yeah, put it behind a religion check. Yeah, I would say that you don't in general, no.
Alright. It also I also see like a short sword bonus action because of dual wielding. Does that still happen as a third attack or no?
If you use your bonus action for it, it does indeed. That one as well is going to miss wide as she deflects it. Anything else from Nonya at this point?
No, that'd be it.
As it gets back around to the wounded hag, breathing deeply, she's going to reach out above her head, and as she brings her hand down, first the top of her head, her jaw, her shoulders, and her whole body, top to bottom, are just going to shimmer and disappear as she poofs into nothingness. So this is where Eric will come in from effectively the top right corner, the northeast corner of this map. You want to drop yourself in that corner. You can basically run to, it's the southeast corner is the entrance of this area. For what it's worth, you can hear and understand the commotion going on here. And more than likely, you are spending this turn effectively running to get close to them. But potentially, depending on how things go, you might have some sort of option that brings you in immediately.
Yeah, I'll just dash.
Northeast corner, top right.
Let's see. Hold on. Yeah, I'm just gonna go all the way to the doorway, and that'll be basically my turn.
Well, if it takes all of your movement to get close to the doorway, you can take the dash action to basically double your movement, and that can put you inside of it. You just can't actually necessarily do anything
That's what I
inside.
mean. That's what I want to.
So move yourself where you'd like to go, and then it's going to move on to Sarkis.
Okay, so I obviously have not a ton of like magic knowledge with Sarkis, but a little bit. And I do have Misty Step myself. Can I do some sort of magic or wisdom or something check to see? Do I recognize that as like her teleporting away? Or like do I have any idea where she's at or anything?
On that one, I think you can do an Arcana. It was a teleportation spell of sorts. It is a teleportation spell that makes yours look like child's play.
Okay, and then also this is a strange situation, but I have hex on her right now. So if
You
I just
cannot sense her presence because you can sense it within a mile. Isn't that what Hex says, within a mile?
Yeah. No, it doesn't say anything about sensing it within a mile, and it just says 90-foot range area. But I don't think I can recast it because it says if the target drops to 0 hit points before the spell ends, you can use a bonus action on a subsequent turn of yours to curse a new creature. So I'm pretty sure I just like get screwed out of hex.
Um, I feel like for what it's worth, as long as you're maintaining concentration, we can probably move forward with the idea that you still have the hex going. Most teleportation spells don't specifically say anything about they drop spells like that. So, but yeah, like currently you'll have hex, but you don't have it on anybody.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Okay, so then I will. Is there any way that I can move somewhere other than the square that's like north of Flea, to leave that one open for Eric to potentially get in there? But still, well, I think I'm just gonna fight the bottom witch. I'm gonna yell out, "Oh, Eric! Thank God you're here! Attack the northern one! She's hurt!" And then I am just going to do bonus action hex on the middle one, just because I can reach her, and then I'm gonna just attack her.
Hold up. The solution is that yeah, you can stand in a square where any of those other counters are. You just can't stop and end your turn in that square. So you can move to attack the northern witch, but you basically have to either leave the square that you left last turn, basically procking another opportunity attack, or yeah, I mean pretty much however you end up doing it, you'll either go through that square and eventually like through difficult terrain or proc an opportunity attack. The only way to do it without like entering and then leaving the combat is to essentially attack the witch on the south side.
Yeah, I'm pretty well damaged. I don't want to take any free hits if I can avoid it right now. So yeah, I'm just gonna hex the southern one, and I'll just point the dagger at her and yell, "You're next!" And then I will re-hex her. I'll do the same thing again, just strength checks, I guess. And then I'm gonna just unarmed strike her twice.
First one she's going to deflect. The second one is going to connect. So the second attack hit Sarkis. Can you roll a d6 for your hex?
Oh, my bad. Yeah, sorry about that. Nice.
So your bonus was to move the hex. So it's gonna go to her. As she's drawing black tendrils through this whole room, you're going to see in the instant that Morgantha teleports out of the room, the tendrils disappear. She left us. And she's just going to strike out at Flea as she claws out at him. And she's going to miss, and it's going to go to Flea.
Sneak attack dagger against oh wait. Damn.
disengage bow.
I think you should be able to hit the one north of you.
Yeah, he could, but I want to go after the one that's next to you that's the most damage and try to attack like as much as we can on the damage one. So what if he moves up to the north one spot and then attacks that one and goes for sneak attack? If he hits, he uses disengage to move out of the way. If he doesn't hit, he attacks again for the sneak attack.
So he's going to kind of leap up, slashes out at her leg with his dagger, and will sink it into the back of her thigh. And you can see as a large chunk of the muscle is separated from the tendon. And then he will disengage and step away.
Perfect.
Sorry, didn't mean to do that.
And she will be bloodied. She's going to look over to the one to the south of her, and just very quickly, she wiggles her fingers as she waves goodbye, and she's going to reach over her head, in an instant drop the veil over her person, and she's going to disappear. Nunya, what would you like to do?
I guess I want to attack the one south of me.
First strikeout is going to connect for 17. Second one's going to miss. Do you want a bonus action, Adder? And the second attack will do another 6. And Eric, as you've run into this room, you've seen a puff of smoke from about where you're standing, and then another puff from right between Nunya and the creature she's attacking out at. What would you like to do?
I'm just gonna run up with my rapier and attack.
Solid strike, roll the damage. Second attack will hit as well for another 11.
I'm gonna use action surge. Do I get to does extra attack work with action surge also?
I believe it says yes underneath action surge. Do you recall, Justin?
Yeah, you should have 2 regular attacks, and when you action surge, you get that attack action, which gives you 2 more attacks. And then you
Yes,
still
and
have
you
your
take
bonus action.
Yep, it's when you take the attack action, your extra attack lets you make an extra attack. Action surge lets you take the attack action a second time.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
All right, so the crit is going to be that 10 damage.
Okay.
And then what is it? Is it Piercer that lets you roll? Did you re-roll the 8? Is that what that is with the 1?
Piercer lets me re-roll.
Okay, you roll an extra when you critical. And you roll the 1 for that. Once per turn, you can re-roll the piercing damage from an attack. On a critical hit, you can roll 1 additional damage die. So you might as well re-roll that d8. So just roll a d8. I mean, realistically, the next one you rolled was a 1, but just roll a d8. Bam, dice never lie. So you're going to do 10, 11 damage with the crit, and then that second attack is going to do that 10 damage behind it. So another 21.
Wouldn't it do the 12?
No, it's always the next die. You had that 10-1-4 that should have never been rolled. That is just the same as for the 17. It's just
Oh,
without
okay,
the
I
crit.
gotcha. I gotcha.
And you're running around with a rapier and a shield?
No, I just have the rapier.
Gotcha. So nothing else from you right now? It will go to Sarkis.
Oh, did you do a bonus action or are you done?
I don't think he has a bonus.
No, my only bonus action is Misty Step, and I don't need to use that or Second Wind.
Gotcha. So is she bloodied now or not yet?
She is in fact bloodied, yes.
Can I tell? Is there some sort of like spell focus that they're using? Do they have like a staff or something that they're like clasping when they try to cast these spells?
You can use some sort of action economy to do a perception, but it's going to take some sort of action economy to figure out what they're doing.
Yeah, I've got Hex on her. I'm just gonna go for the attacks then. I'm gonna do unarmed strikes against her. Your sister's left you for dead. Can't do anything with that one.
That will hit, so you can add a d6 for the hex.
Let's go.
And is that everything from you?
That's all I got.
As you pummel into her, she is going to become severely bloodied. As your fists start to drop her, she's going to reach forward or reach above her head and start to cast the same spell that you all have seen twice before. And as she starts to pull the veil over her head,
Can I cast Sentinel?
she's teleporting away. You cannot use Sentinel as she is leaving, and it's not something that you cast.
Okay.
As she pulls the veil down over her head, she's just going to wink out at Sarkis, and she's just going to say, "This is the way with our kind. Always to ourselves we look." And she's going to disappear. So that was part of what I wanted you all to get an understanding of. As far as fighting these women will go, you all need something on your side that you are able to kill them in a turn, basically. Once you get them weakened, you need to kill them right away, because the moment they think to run, they can poof away. And that was one of the things that I was hoping to get you guys to last time. But you have an understanding of it now. You've seen them in action. You've bloodied you've bloodied all 3 of them, and you severely bloodied 2 of them. And in the process, at present, you all have taken old Bone Grinder for yourselves. What would you like to do?
God, I hate them. How close are we to killing them before they teleport away?
Again, severely bloodied is 25% damage or less. And you got 2 of them to severely, and you got the third to bloodied.
Damn, I feel like we were so close. If we could have just took one of them out, that would have been huge.
And you saw the moment that the first one teleported away. They don't have the same magical abilities when they're not 3.
All right. Well, I guess we're gonna like start ransacking this place as quickly as possible. They're gone. I don't know how far away they went, or if they'll be back. But we should quickly search and make sure there's nothing they'd come back for, and then we should probably get out of here, get somewhere safe. I'm glad you showed up when you did, Eric. You probably saved us.
For sure. What just happened? What did I just walk into?
Some sort of witches. They had some children captured. They were killing them and eating them or something. There was teeth everywhere. We have to stop them. The children. And then Stark is just gonna run outside all of a sudden and start screaming out for the children. Kids, the witches, they're gone. Come out, come to us.
Make a performance and a perception. So as you yell out, you don't see any response, but you see the kids way off in the distance, and they are just slowly making their way across the hillsides as they are running into the night.
How far in the distance are we talking here? I'm gonna go after them. I don't want them to be like running off on their own, getting eaten by wolves or something.
Well, let's take a break while I do some math.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that. Sarkis got to go after the kids though. That's like in his nature.
Okay, I'll be right back.
If it helps, I can move 45, dash another 45, and potentially Misty Step another 30 in a single turn. So 130 feet is like my max in one turn.
How many Misty Steps do you have? Just one?
Yeah, I can only use it once.
But you can do 90 turn after turn.
That's right. Yep. We need like counterspell or something to stop them from teleporting away. Yeah, so they didn't actually cast anything except for their teleport away spell after the one left, right? Because I feel like the one tried to cast those tendrils and it like failed, probably because the third one wasn't there.
I feel like I heard you say something while I was AFK for a second.
Oh, I didn't realize everybody was gone. I was just saying, it seemed like they didn't cast anything but the teleport spell after the one was gone. And then I sort of get the idea the way you described the like tendril thing, that like she went to cast that spell they had been casting, the like binding one, and it failed because the third one maybe was like out of range or whatever. Like they got their power from like all being together.
Yeah, it was a different spell. It would have been something you hadn't seen yet, but that was why I was trying to draw it together like that, is to show you that, yeah, they, part of that wink as well is to remind you that the reason they work together at all is because as three, they can cast magical spells. When they are alone, they have severely limited spells.
So they
So
work
that
on the
was
power of 3.
effectively, yes. And over time, that is, again, this is super meta, so there's no reason for you to necessarily know this, but all hags basically have next to no spellcasting ability unless they are in a coven. All covens
Sorry,
are
I'm back.
always three, and they are never friendly with each other. It's always some level of they're in a constant competition for like kind of one-upping each other. And the only reason they ever really stick together is purely for the magical powers that they gain as a coven of three. So you all are going to see, I feel like everybody's back at that point. So you all are going to see as Sarkis runs off out of the door, and he starts to head off to the southeast, following after the children, who are very clearly starting to run a very long way back towards Barovia. And Sarkis is gone in an instant. What is Nunya and what is Eric doing as they run off?
Should we catch up to him, or do we want to look at this place while he tries to catch him?
Well, should we see if that like stone thing, Bob, you guys are looking for is here before those witches, hags, old women come back?
I mean, we can't. Have I been given that locate object scroll thing?
I believe you have.
So, DM, is this just like a one-time use kind of thing, or will I know this spell permanently from the scroll?
As far as I know, you don't have a wizard spell book. When you cast a scroll burns up into the ether.
See, I didn't know the mechanics of a scroll. That's just what I wanted to know. Should we waste it on in here, or what do you think?
Well, from the sounds of it, you guys have determined it's either here or that's one city. Correct? Crisp, was it? Is that what it's called? Crisp?
Crest.
Crest. That is. There it is. So, it's up to you.
I guess I'll go ahead and use the scroll to use locate object. Oh, wait, I don't think I have it in my inventory.
Yeah, I feel like as far as things go, I'm not sure you guys have ever located it. It looks like it's still in the party loot list.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Just want to point out again, I want you all to locate all of that stuff on particular characters. That is not like a free way to carry stuff. Like 1700 silver, that weighs a lot of weight. You guys should have that on people. So yeah, Eric has seen the emerald stone destroyed in the past. You have a relative sense of what these stones are, and you can prepare to cast locate objects. Um, yeah, I don't think there's anything complicated about it. You're going to start to cast the spell. The scroll is going to burn, and you are not within 1,000 feet of the scroll or of the stone.
Shit, I don't see anything.
So, as you all are having this conversation, planning on casting it, pulling out the scroll, and going through the process of casting it, it does not take Sarkis long to get close to the children, still yelling after them. They don't seem to be listening as they're just in a panicked run. And eventually, after it's straight up a minute and a half, you catch up and overtake them to where you can get your arms on them. And within a moment of being touched, they shriek, and then they look at you and they relax very quickly. And it kind of sets in that you're not what they expected. You ran quite a ways away. It's about 1,300 feet away, but I think that's like a quarter of a mile. So you can still see everything pretty solid at that point. And I figure it'll be another like 3 or so minutes, basically a total of 5 minutes gone for you to walk back with the children.
They're okay. It's safe now. They're gone. We'll get you home, but we have to do it together. And I'll just like let them know that we'll get them back to wherever they're from. Ask them like where they're from and whatnot. But like we don't have to role play it or whatever.
So, Kavi, Eric, what are you all doing after you cast the spell and you notice that the stone is not nearby?
I want to investigate around the the I guess the main room we're in to see if there's to look for like if this is significant to, if this place is specifically significant to the witches with like seeing runes or something carved into the stone and whatnot, or if they were just using it as a shelter.
So you're looking for any magical like ruins that they might have brought in to shelter in this place
Like
rather
no,
than if
like
it's just a
runes
natural
carved
place.
into the stone or something like that to see if it's specifically, yeah, um, like they need to use this place specifically.
So you can roll an investigation. And Nunya, what are you doing?
She's gonna see if there's anything on the second floor.
I didn't really prepare this as a way to keep you all on different floors because they're not multiple maps. So I'm just going to So as you move up to the second floor, you are going to see a large grindstone, and then there is an apparatus of cogs and wheels that are just turning around and around. Um, doesn't take too much to recognize that if the actual wheels of the windmill are not turning, this thing is powered by magic. Um, as you look around, Eric, you're going to see a pretty typical kitchen. For a lot of reasons, you can see that this whole lower level just seems to be a nice little kitchen. There's some muffins that are baking in the oven. They're getting close to burning. There's a cart that is currently filled with probably about 2 dozen muffins. They're all frosted. They look quite tasty, quite sugary, and sugar itself is a pretty rare treat. You may have had the opportunity to try sugar once or twice in your entire life. So that looks pretty delicious and pretty enticing. But as far as going around and looking for anything that seems magical about the place itself, it looks like a pretty typical building. There's certainly some things here that seem like they have special ingredients, but in the long run, it doesn't seem like the building itself is a magical anything.
And I feel like Flea would probably warn Eric not to eat anything, because they're like sleeping poison. And then also, I feel like he would look for something to like probably steal or pick or something.
Oh, that's just way too convenient. Do you guys actually know that they're poison? Because I feel like you guys were just worried about eating them because the hags were creepy.
Oh no, we know they're like the sleeping treats. Somebody told us about them specifically.
Can I at least roll to see if Flea wants to fuck with Eric? Because it would be funny if one of you ate these.
I think it was like when we first arrived at Valakai, we like gave them to the guards and they were talking about like, oh yeah, these make you fall asleep.
Yeah, they give you dreams. A lot of people eat them. Essentially, they are sleeping pills.
Oh, that's what they're called. I couldn't think of the name. Dream cakes.
Yeah, they're dream pastries. Yep. Um, roll a d20, Sarkis, for Flea's investigation. Rushing it. I feel like he can't roll below a 10 at this point, but let me make sure. I don't actually know what the ability is called for that. It doesn't look like he has it, though. Maybe that's a different rogue? I thought that was just a rogue thing.
Ooh, I can't remember what level it's at, but I think it's on
It
like.
might be higher.
Say it again.
It might be higher.
I want to say it's under 10, but I don't know if it's 7. I can look while you keep
Oh,
going.
reliable talent is level 11. I feel like that's what it is. Yep. So, still a ways to go. My bad. So he's got a +8. It's still a 10. Um, it doesn't appear to be anything in particular down here that's really fancy or nice. But inside of their spice cabinet, he will find 3 different vials. One of them is marked youth, another is marked laughter, and the other is marked mother's milk.
Yeah, I guess we'll just have him pocket those then.
I'm just picturing that bottle with the character from The Boys on the mother's milk bottle.
And I binged The Boys a while ago. I can't actually think what that is.
He was the African American guy in The Boys, and they just called him Mother's
The
Milk.
Speedster? Oh wait, was he
No,
the really
he's
fast
part of
one?
The Boys. He's the really bulky guy. He's not part of the 7. He,
Oh, okay. I forgot that the boys are actually like the normal people.
yeah, the ones that hate supers. But if you ever read up why he's called Mother's Milk, it's pretty fucked up.
Damn, so he's got those. Um, so assuming the investigations take a little bit longer, Sarkis, you can arrive back with the children. And what would you all like to continue to do here?
Did they tell me where they're from and how long they've been gone for?
You would know that they're from Barovia, um, and roll persuasion. And that their parents uh, sold them for a debt that they owed the ladies for the dream pastries. But their parents are Gustav and Arena from um, Barovia.
Oh wait, Gustav and Arena. Do we know them?
Uh, just a repeat of a name. It's normal for names to be repeated. If they give you a last name, um, we'll call them um, Cooper. Just that you know that they are those. They make casks basically. But no, they're not meant to be anybody. You guys just did a good deed saving kids.
So I feel like as soon as I get back, I'll basically just like let them know that we got the kids. We should search, do whatever we need to do, and then we should get out of here as soon as possible. I don't know if they'll come back or when, but I don't want to be here when they do, if they do.
What do y'all know about these muffins?
The dream pastries, they're well known. People pay good money for them, but if I see like the oven still going, I'll like see if there's some way to like pull them out or whatever. But I'll just let Eric know that they're like sleeping pills, like hallucinogens, and that we could probably like take them, but we shouldn't eat them.
Yeah, after the other like 3 minutes basically of you coming back, they're already starting to get towards the burnt side. But there's 2 dozen that are prepared and ready to be sold in the cart.
Oh, okay, cool. Um, where's Nunya at? And Flea? Or wait, is Flea still downstairs or is he upstairs?
He would be downstairs taking those vials from the spice cabinet.
And we know this place is like 3 stories, right?
I think you have a good idea that it's 4. Yeah, because there's 2 sets of windows from like the second and the third story, and then the actual like rotor for the windmill is mounted above that second set of windows.
Let's go upstairs and finish searching this place and then get the hell out of here.
So I think you're just going up to the next level, and you just see that there is the grindstone just slowly spinning away on that second level, and you'll see Nunya's up there.
Anya, we should make haste. Finish searching these levels and get out of here.
Yes, sir.
I'll like run up the stairs to, I'll say like I'll go all the way up to like the highest level and work my way down. I'm not specifically gonna like look for anything. I think I'm more just kind of like looking around to see if anything catches my eye because I don't really know what I would be looking for. Um,
Yeah, Nunya will make her way up to the third floor.
On the third floor, yeah, I feel like you're gonna get to the third floor, and you're going to see that there doesn't seem to be anything above this. So on some level, it's really just an insight check to know that there should be an attic above you. But as you get to the third floor, you're going to see that there's a bunch of very similar crates as to the ones that you found the children already inside of, as well as like a bed. There's three of these crates. Two of them are stacked on top of each other, and then the bed is just kind of off to one of the sides. It looks moldy. It looks pretty disgusting. Um, and then there's like, yeah, the central pillar that would connect kind of through this actual level.
oh, so wait, are there kids in the crates or are they just like empty boxes like we see on the thing?
No, these crates are going to be empty.
Okay, gotcha. And then you said do an insight check to see if we know there's a should be a higher level.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, what great names. One of the children's is named Freak, and the other one is Myrtle. Oh, I wasn't even looking. Yeah, so you can understand that somewhere around that shaft, there is another level up, and Flea can kind of like walk up there with you guys, kind of sprawl out against the wall as he gains a little bit of a grip to things, and looking around takes him a few moments before he's able to find these signs of the latch above, and he can pop it to show you the way up to the top. And up top, you'll just see another differential of cogs. I don't think there's really anything in particular for you to spot up there. Just domed chamber, a little bit of light coming in from where there aren't uh, those things you put on a roof to keep water out of it, shingles. Um, and then, yeah, like the differential is still seized, so there's no reason for this to be turning below. So just kind of coming up here, you kind of confirm like this is everything.
And obviously, you said the name of this place is Bone Grinder, but do we see like signs or get the inclination that this is like a giant grinder of bones?
You would see torture elements inside of the actual third level. It seems like they basically fuck with the children on that third level where they keep them imprisoned. You have a pretty good understanding that they were taking these two children down to the lowest level to either kill them or that they were freshly caught, kind of thing. But yeah, you guys have plenty enough reason to understand that they are not making wheat, they're not making flour, they are grinding bones in that second level of this place. And the teeth in particular might be like scattered across that room as they almost like shoot out of the mill instead of being crushed like other bones might. But yeah, this would be a pretty horrific place as far as almost everything about walking around this place. It would be a gore fest, like being inside of like a Saw movie.
Eric is gonna grab about 4 of the muffins and put them in his bag. And then take the 3 vials.
Flea has those vials.
Oh, Flea had. Okay, sorry. I forgot that. Yeah, sorry.
And if we like kind of look around by the bed or whatever, do we see anything else? Like any books or like anything in particular that catches our eye or looks important?
Just taking a quick look over it, or are you actually kind of like rifling through it?
Oh, well, like the actual bed, I would like, I guess I kind of search, but then if there was like a table or like desk or something, or anything that kind of catches my eye as like where you would keep something important or valuable.
Yeah, there's not too much signs of anything like that, but you can do an investigation around the bed.
In case you guys haven't noticed yet, I never find anything when I investigate, and I also have disadvantage.
Just kind of moving up to the bed. God damn it, you don't have a sense of smell. I don't. I feel like going up to the bed, you're just gonna feel kind of a weird, like greasy moisture as you start to like ruffle around through like the hay. And very quickly, you kind of get this sense that whatever soiled this bed, you don't want to be rifling through it. And you just conclude, nope, it's just a bed of filth.
Good enough for me.
Everybody otherwise done looking through the windmill?
Yeah, I am.
Let me know when y'all get back down.
So your children belong way back over in the village of Barovia. Had they run there, you can pretty much guarantee they would have never made it. They have a long way to go. Are you all interested in starting to escort them all the way back to Barovia?
So I guess what I'm thinking right now, the windmill pretty much was a dead end. We didn't figure anything else about where the stone is, but at least we kind of ruled this area out. Um, so the next two main things I'm thinking, oh, Eric, you weren't here last week. We pretty much determined that while we will eventually need to go to Crest for something, it's probably not what we're looking for at the moment. So I think we need to go to the castle next. And as far as the kids, if their parents like sold them to the witches to pay a debt, not really that worried about getting them back to their parents. Maybe just take them to the church in Valakai on the way.
Any thoughts from Nunya or Eric on that?
I didn't hear what you said because my computer just completely shut down on me, not restarting, so I'm switching to a different computer.
He was just thinking it seems like it would be a waste of time to take the kids back to Barovia, especially, or rather, perhaps because they were sold for pastries. So their parents are probably pieces of shit. That maybe taking them to the priest in Valakai, which is both along the way and perhaps a more secure place to live, might be better for the children. And when you say the castle, do you mean Argynvost Halt Circus?
Yeah, Argynvost.
Yep. And Argynvost Halt is in particular one of the next locations. At least I feel like everybody kind of agrees that the Taroka reading points to.
What I want to do before, have we really officially left the windmill yet and started moving?
I mean, it's a gray area. I need input from you guys because right now Sarkis is trying to plan and there's a whole lot of silence from everybody else in the group. It should be a group participation. If you guys want to be away from the windmill, you certainly can, but you should probably decide where you're going before you leave the windmill. What are you thinking about?
I say we deliver the kids to safety, but after we leave the windmill, I want to burn it down.
So, how do you feel about Sarkis's suggestion that maybe their parents are not safety and the priest in Valakai might be safety?
Oh, for sure. If I had seen their parents, I would probably attempt to harm them.
Okay, but were you even positive that they were sold, or they were just like kidnapped? Because that's also a thing that's been happening here.
They started to have those muffins, and every time they have one, they want another. And it's very quickly that they run out of gold. And Morgantha was never hesitant to loan them more and more until one day Father told us that we had to go with her. They were in fact sold to the hags.
Okay, we're not taking them home.
Will we become adventurers like you?
Of course, one day you'll be great heroes, probably even taller than me.
I think I try to say probably already are taller than you.
Yeah, you're probably right. All right, so yeah, what if we do Malachi and then Argynvolstol because it's kind of on the way. And I think we could probably take that shortcut again, the same way that we came from, on the way back to Valakai. I think the real question is, like Eric said, do we want to burn the windmill down? One, and two, do we want to try to get a short rest before we leave somewhere on the way, or just wait till we get to Valakai? I feel like Sarkis would want to just get the hell out of there, especially with the kids. As far as burning the windmill down, I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea. The only benefit of not burning it down would be potential that the witches or hags or whatever would come back and we would be able to find them again back at their place. So, as opposed to just not knowing where they would be, that would be the only benefit, I think, to not destroying it.
So they could continue to commit their atrocities.
Well, like I said, it'd almost be like bait. Like we'd be leaving it knowing that they would return to it, thinking that we're gone and not coming back, and then we could try to come back and ambush them. Otherwise, we have no idea where we would find them at. So, I mean, we can weigh it between us and decide. But I'm just saying, there's definitely an argument to be made about leaving it and hoping that they come back so we can find them and actually finish them.
I definitely think like there is a bigger benefit to just leaving it as is and burning it later.
Okay.
I agree with you, Erica. I'd rather have it destroyed, but it it may be the only hope of us finding them and eradicating them permanently. Because for all we know, they could just find another place and start doing the same thing again. At least if we leave it, we might be able to find them and we can destroy them.
What if I at least just burned their remaining stores of their dream cakes and whatever supplies that they had to make them and just did it outside of the windmill?
We should take all that with us. They're valuable. They're powerful. I hate to spread them around, but they could be useful. I mean, I would
I've
need
already
them.
taken before.
Well, we can take the rest. Let's just get out of here.
Okay.
You could probably only fit like one in each pocket at first.
Then let's head to Valakai.
Let me get a survival from Eric and Nunya. So as you all are walking back through your shortcut, you're going to pass through the woods pretty seamlessly. At some point along the way, Eric, you are going to find a little inkwell that's just kind of like sitting beside the path. and it seems like it has been discarded and lost and forgotten quite some time ago.
Hey, y'all, look what I found. It looks like some sort of inkwell.
Who's going over to him?
I'll go up to him and see what he found. Bubble pipe in mouth, puffing on some bubbles.
Nanya, are you heading over there?
She'll stick with the children.
When you say inkwell, is it like a bottle like that you would dip a quill in type thing?
Yeah. Freak is going to try to walk over there as well. Flea doesn't really seem terribly interested in it. So if one child's going over to it and one child is not, what are you doing, Nanya?
She'll just bring the other child and walk along with the other one.
Let me have all of you make Constitution saving throws. Both of the kids are going to start vomiting. As you all start to look at this little inkwell, you all get a little bit nauseous. And while the three of you are prepared to hold it in, the kids are not. And they've got nothing to vomit right now. And they're vomiting.
Oh, what is it from? Can we tell? Well, I guess I probably can't tell because I can't smell anything. So
No, 100%. You're right on with having your bubble pipe out. It is an inkwell that makes you nauseous when you look at it. That's all it is. It's just a random trinket.
I'll like keep hitting my bubble pipe. We should probably go. Why would anyone ever make something like this?
It was just perfect at the moment I described it to Eric. Will's like, hey, everybody come over here and look at this. Like, the look is the key part of that statement. Because if everybody comes over and looks at it, everybody's going to start to feel nauseous. And Flea's just over there, like, dicking around, doing whatever.
Scratching it out. I will give the kids a ration and something to drink, and then like usher them away from the puke ink well.
I take the
How-
inkwell and I try to throw it to as hard as I can at it, away from all of us, at a tree to see if it'll to shatter it.
roll a dexterity check. How much rations are you giving them? Are you giving them like a ration each?
Oh well, I feel like a ration is like a full day's meal for an adult, so maybe just one to split between them.
Gotcha. So like a ration realistically is actually like kind of like all three meals that you would have for a day. It's very much like an MRE where you can like crack it open and there's enough food for an entire day of living, like in a single ration. And
Yeah, I just marked one off, so I'll give them part of it, and then I'll eat part of it myself, and then give them some water.
gotcha. So you're doing kind of thirds with them.
Yeah, that's legit.
So they're just going to like scarf this down like they are vacuum cleaners, and they inhale the ration. Make an intelligence check for me, Sarkis. As you watch them eating, it dawns on you after that they've eaten everything. When somebody is starving to death, it can be really dangerous to eat a lot of food. You often have to like slowly start to eat food again. Um, but they're doing okay. They're not looking sick at present.
There's plenty more where that came from, but pace ourselves. We'll prepare you a nice meal, or the father will when we get back to town. But right now, let's focus on safety.
So the rest of your trail through the woods is going to go without much incident. Oh wait, the dexterity check. Um, you're relatively sure you got a pretty solid hit on the tree. You can't quite tell whether it's shattered or not, but the inkwell's gone as far as you're concerned.
Works for me.
So you all travel the rest of the way through the forest here, going rather uneventful, and well past the rising of the moon, you start to walk back along the old Svellich Road, and eventually you are going to arrive at the east gate of Valakai. Everything will be locked up and shut. There are no longer guards beyond the gate, but you have some level of expecting that there might be guards within along the gate.
Guards, is anyone working the door? We've returned. We have the children. Please let us in. It's Sarkis and friends.
Roll a T100, Sarkis. So after a few moments, a guard is going to come out from beyond a little like not embankment, but like a little guard room in the palisade, and kind of walk up to the edge, and they kind of like hold a torch out beyond themselves, and you see as a familiar looking person in that they're Valakian, but not a familiar person in that you've never actually met this guard in the past. Kind of just reaches out, and they're kind of more of the light is shining on them than it perhaps shines on you. Come closer. Come to the gate. Let me see you.
I will approach.
And it's just you? You're a Sarkis?
I'm the Sarkis, and my companions as well. Nunya and Eric and Lee. We've saved some small children as well. We need to see. We need entry. We are residents here.
Make a persuasion. He's gonna look back to the little guard post. You recognize these people? And after a moment, another guard is going to step out, and they kind of look down. What names did you say you travel by?
I am Sarkis Shadowstorm. These are my companions. We literally saved the city not a few days ago. We killed Madame Wachter. There must be rumors of us and our greatness.
You're gonna see as the second one taps the first one, like just kind of elbows them. Make a perception check. You'll just hear as he's like elbowing the other ones and already like walking away from the first one who popped out. He's just like elbowing them and just saying, "The ones who saved the lady from the cult." And after a few moments, they'll open the gate for you. And as he brings you in, he'll just kind of like look close over everybody. And then after a moment, he's just going to be, "Please don't mention that we opened the gate for you. You came before rising of the moon."
No worries. Thank you, my friends.
But they will otherwise welcome you into the east side of Valakai, and you all can travel where you might. What is it? I feel like last time we put Lady Petronova in like this house in the south side.
Yeah, I think we would probably just go to the church and drop the children off.
Are you planning on resting here in Valakai, or are you planning on moving straight through?
Definitely could use a long rest, so probably rest.
In St. Andrews?
I don't know. What you guys thinking?
Uh, what's the time?
Lee could tell you it's probably close to 10 or 11 at night.
It's kind of late, so we could go to the inn and bring him to the church tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I mean I don't care. I was literally just thinking we would give Father Donovich a little bit of cash and the kids and have them like see to their being taken care of.
That just sounds like we're selling the kids to the church.
But that's entirely normal. People have always done that. It's like a reverse dowry. So do you have anything that you need from the Keepers of the Feather? Do you have anything in particular you'd like to ask Erwin? Otherwise, you all can benefit from a long rest. The Keepers would be a little bit surprised to see you all a little bit haggard. Um, Otherwise, you can kind of pick up the next morning.
I guess that would kind of be our other option is if we wanted to have the keepers take care of them instead of the church. I don't know.
I feel like the church would be like a slightly better location than like bird people.
I'm sold. So yeah, I think that's it. We pretty much spoke to them, asked them a bunch of questions, didn't really get anything from them last time. So unless they have like some kind of update or news or anything, I don't really need to RP anything in particular.
You guys were gone for like 10 hours. Nothing really changed for them.
Did you guys find out the Sapphire Stone? Nope. Okay, we're out of here.
Every time you bring up the third stone, you know it's like picking at a scab between him and his father, right?
The stone you lost, you didn't find it while we were gone, did you?
We're going to get kicked out.
I 100% assume Sarkis learned his lesson not to say that Erwin lost the stone.
He got so pissed. No, definitely not bringing it up at all. I'll just look at him, kind of like awkwardly look to see if I see any stones around, and I will say nothing about the stone at all.
We're going to get barred from the inn.
As you look around awkwardly, there's still no wine. So if you all are taking a long rest, you can enjoy that long rest. Did you take the kids before resting there, or do you want to do that the next morning?
I think the next morning would probably be a better option.
Roll a D100 for me, Nanya. So they're able to give you all rooms, but when it comes down to like anything extra for the kids, they're pretty well booked at this point. Like they're full up, just from like random people, um, and kind of like some of the wolf hunters are basically returned, and the kids stay the night with the two Mardikoff boys, Ram and can't think of the other brother's name. But
Mark.
it's a nice. What was that?
Oh, I just threw out a random name and I said Marcus.
Ray and Brom. So they have like a nice kind of like respite where they actually get to play with other children, and it kind of goes both ways because even Bray and Brom are both in that same level of they really just don't have the opportunity very much to play with other children. But you all can take a long rest. You can pick up the next morning. If you want to roleplay dropping off the kids, you are more than welcome to. Otherwise, you can head on the way, and you are going to Argenvostolt.
Yeah, Argenvolsol, and I'm gonna mark off 100 silver. I'm gonna give to Father Donovich to see to the kids, like safety and care.
Very kind of you. We will certainly take the best care that we can and raise them into perhaps something more than they will ever have been without your love and devotion. And you're just going to see the little boy Freak and the little girl at the same time. Freak and Myrtle, they're going to kind of like jump up, and both of them are saying, "We're going to be adventurers!" So as you all head off into the west, what route would you like to take to Argenvostolt?
We already went the one way before, right?
Technically, you all have only gone to Argenvostolt by taking the route towards the swampland and then diverting yourselves towards the castle. You've left Argenvostolt along the like actual road that would vaguely lead you to it.
Okay, I got you. So yeah, I guess the real question is, do we want to take the actual road and like overshoot it to the west and then double back down the road to the east? Or do we want to take the shortcut through the swamp and just go south along the river?
Well, we always just cut through the trees and go like a general like southwest direction.
Like basically cross the bridge, cross the little X marks the spot, and then right around where the tree line is like super thin there, just cut south and cut out that extra little loop?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a draw. I feel like that's a draw it for me moment.
You're the navigator. I get lost doing pretty much everything, so I trust you if you think you can get us through there, Nunya.
That's what we're thinking, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I had us going just a tiny bit more west and then kind of like skipping the majority of the trees, but yeah, that's totally cool what I was thinking.
I'll follow wherever y'all go.
All right, so this is super random, but we know that random like undead dude is like been just kind of traveling around looking for something. And when I was reading through the fortunes a few minutes ago, just trying to like see if there was anything we missed, the I don't know, this might be a complete long shot, but it says something about like the bones that we found at Madame Walker's house, and he's like looking for something. I wonder if there's a possibility he's like looking for those bones. Maybe crazy, but
Do we ever collect those bones?
I think
yeah,
Lee
Lee
has
got
some. Lee's
Well-
like got his backpack open, like snorting a little bit of white stuff that's kind of like off gray.
that better be bone dust, Flea.
Well, we can always present the bones and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even know if we're gonna see him again. It's just something that randomly, like, I don't know. It might be a complete long shot, but it just made me think.
I mean, at this point, like anything's worth a shot. I feel like.
All right, yeah. So that's it. That's all I was thinking. But I did not pick anything else particularly up off that part. I was just trying to read the part about the Argynvolstolt to see if anything kind of registered.
Let me get a survival check. Assuming Nunya and Eric are leading the party. Let me just have the, what is it, 3 of you? Yeah, 3 of you roll a d20. Alrighty, so while you all are walking into the outskirts of the woods, Eric is going to step into a trap on the ground, and as it slams down onto his leg, you're going to take 1 piercing damage.
Jeez, that hurt.
It's like a little mousetrap in the woods.
I mean, no necessarily need to roll on this, but it wouldn't be hard for you all to recognize that this is meant to be a trap for wolves, for some hunters to try to catch a wolf. So you guys could either take the trap with you and just mark down, or rather add a hunting trap to your inventory, or you can reset the trap and prepare it for the next wolf to follow. But when you are ready to progress forward, if I can get another survival check from you all.
I guess I'll like reset it and leave it behind. If I like help Eric get it off his leg or whatever.
So as you all are walking along down the woods, you're basically blazing your own bit of a trail here, and it's not long into this kind of morning where you start to see that there seems to be a bit of like a clear path, almost running parallel with you all. Taking a little bit of time to move over to it, you see that there is a trail that seems to be leading in that same generally kind of southwest direction that you are currently trying to head. If you all would like, you can progress forward on that trail, or you can start to move back to where you were and continue blazing forward.
You two are leading the way. I'm just a follower.
But you're the only one who's been here before.
It looks like it's going in the direction we are, so I guess we could follow it.
I guess we'll detour to the trail.
As you all continue to follow along this trail for a ways, let me have everybody roll a d20. Sarkis, roll a dexterity saving throw. As you're following along with everybody and you all are moving along on this path, you watch as Nunya, Eric both walk over the same area as they trek along this trail. And it seems quite odd, but as you make your step, feeling like you are continuing to follow them, you start to feel the sensation of the earth below you falling away, and you are able to kind of leap and prevent yourself to falling into the ground. But as you look behind you, you see that there seems to have been almost a leaf canopy built up over this particular area in the trail. And had it not been for your quick reflexes, you would have fallen within, and you can see maybe 15 or so feet down, tips of spikes inside of this pit.
Careful. There could be more of those.
Pushing through for another few hours, you're starting to get a sensation that that trail is no longer leading in the direction you're looking to. It seems to be going a little bit more westward. On some level, you could follow that still to the road. You assume that you're almost between the road to Argenvolstolt and Old Svalich Road to the north of you. But you're essentially at the point that if you start to diverge, move to the south, you'll reconnect with the Argenvolstolt Road pretty quickly here.
Yeah, I guess we'll do that then. Reconnect to the main road.
So go back to Nunya and Eric. Can you please roll survival checks? It's probably about 20 or so minutes of this dense part of the forest before you pop out onto the road, and you're kind of just within view of where the road seems to turn to the south. as you look off to the east. So you're probably about a quarter or half mile away from that point, and maybe about an hour or so away from Argenvost. But you all can continue along the road and theoretically arrive back at Argenvost, which, again, you all are beautifully prepared to always go where I have given up hope of you going.
What is this place?
It's sort of like an undead castle cult thing. Probably going to be. It's probably not going to be very safe, but maybe we can get some answers.
So as you follow along the road, you're going to eventually come into a clearing as the road turns to the east. And there's like that first little bit of semblance over like the last like mile or so of the earth starting to climb as you all are moving into like the foothills of these mountains. But as you come into this clearing, you're going to see a large stone dragon. Probably is the closest thing to you, about like say 250 feet away. And that's probably 50 or so feet in front of the entrance to this castle. From this direction to your right, the southern side of the castle seems to be crumbled away. If it is a symmetrical vision of itself, which it seems to be, you're missing one of the turrets that makes up that southwestern corner of the castle. And if you progress further to that side, there's pretty solid evidence that it includes like the whole southern side of the castle is in ruins. I believe you, Sarkis, would know from your last trip here that the southeastern turret was in fact destroyed, because I think you all went just far enough to see that. But you can see from the third level that there's two turrets that kind of flank that entrance area of the castle, and you can just barely make out the actual like steeple, like the highest point of this castle that was essentially above the church that you approached when you all came to this from the eastern side.
There was like an area that was kind of ruined that seemed like we could get inside, right?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the southern side.
Okay, yeah. So I guess I would just like lead everybody around there, kind of warn them that we had basically encountered like an undead knight, like kind of spirit, and that he basically was like trying to get us to join his undead cult. That I don't know a ton about the place, but get the idea that whatever curse is on them, we need to destroy them, and potentially something about resolve at the end of a blade or something.
So, wait, you want to move around to the southern side?
I mean, unless we want to like go in the front door, I would have like noticed that that one turret was like destroyed, and it looked like we could just kind of walk in. I feel like the previous time Flea like crawled up a wall and like peeked inside and saw a couple of those knights, and then one came out and attacked us.
Yeah, that was from the back when he was like climbing up towards the chapel. Nanya, Eric, thoughts? Where would you like to enter this place?
I don't have any thoughts about it. I'll just follow where everyone, because I'm unfamiliar with this place.
You don't have to be familiar to put in your insight, though.
Well, we had issues with trying to enter through the chapel, so I would think finding like an alternative way would probably be like a better means, because hopefully that way we could like avoid like a direct conflict and explore a bit more before we like probably inevitably end up in like a really deadly fight.
So I guess, do you want to say like try to go in sneaky?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm okay with that. So yeah, we'll try to like stealth in, find an area that it looks like we can sneak in rather than like going through what I imagine would be like big, loud, obvious doors.
So let's start with just a couple of stealths as you all move around and start to move around to that southern side.
We literally fade into the mist.
Eric has to complete it.
Do you want one for Flea?
Yeah, I might as well roll it. Oh yeah, I mean you can roll a d20 for me. Yeah, so you all can move around, and kind of as you start to move around this area, you see that both sides of the southern part of this castle, both turrets are indeed in ruins. You can see that there is a central area kind of to the south here that is even further in ruins, even beyond. It's already like destroyed down to the foundations.
So I'm assuming it's gonna be like dark in here if it's not already like dark and misty outside. So I will go ahead and light a torch. I'm not afraid of the dark or anything. I just my vision is starting to go. You because the old age. That's all.
Yeah, so you can see, I don't know if you have any reason to know that it's a burnt down stables, but that large black section is effectively the burnt stables. From there, you can see that there are 3 levels of the castle, all of which are open and exposed in ruins. You all can place yourselves on the map from this point forward. You are moving in a real world. Um, but as you're kind of looking uh, forward, yeah, let me have you all make another round of stealth checks here. So yeah, as you all are beginning to push forward into this area, you're going to start to see that amongst the like pink marble that makes up this lower level, there's a lot of different debris and things that have fallen, chandeliers that are hanging. Some of them are fallen to the ground and kind of shattered about. But very quickly, the light from your torch is going to shine into the undersides of some of these rooms, and you're going to see the silvery sinew of webs. And perhaps this entrance has guards unto itself.
Do the webs seem like giant spider webs? Is that what I'm getting, or like regular spider webs but super thick?
You can make an animal handling. It's a magical world after all. If these are regular spiders, they are quite busy regular spiders. It's pretty sufficient for you to assume that inside of this area, giant spiders have made their residence.
Should we continue on? We can probably burn away the webs, but I imagine it's going to draw the attention of the owners. Alternatively, maybe we could find a different way in.
I think a different way it might be a better option. What do you think, Eric?
I mean, I can burn them down lickety split, but um, if there is another option,
So yeah, I think look for a different way in with less spiders. As that would, if we're going to try to be sneaky, it's going to alert them. I'm sure if we fight a bunch of spiders. So.
So what do you have in mind? Do you want to send like a scout, like have like Flea and yourself do another round about the castle and try to see what you can see? Otherwise, you guys, this kind of completes, at least for the two of you, knowledge of the surroundings of this place.
what is everyone's stealth at?
I
Mine's
mean,
really
that's
good.
super meta, but you
Okay.
all are all pretty dexterous and you are all pretty quiet people. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you are all as sneaky as Flea.
Yeah, Flea's super good at like climbing. I can also jump really high, so we could potentially find like an open window or elevated area, and then like throw a rope down. So yeah, I'd say we'll like scout it out and maybe look for a like second floor entry, like a window or like opening, possibly like a way to get onto the roof or something like that.
That works with me.
Yeah, that works.
Normally, I'm not like all about skipping a combat, but I feel like fighting a bunch of spiders does us no good because it like alerts the Argynvolsholtians, and then also like takes away resources fighting them. So as opposed to if we skip them, we could potentially save all our resources, and they're probably not going to come after us.
That is the wise decision, as they are not conscious beings, so they're not necessarily here to do anything. So yeah, let me have um either Kavi or Key or Will roll a d20. Just the first one of you who does it. And that'll be a perception from Flea. And then let me have a. Actually, yeah. And then let me have Sarkis do a perception and a stealth.
Did I need to roll anything else besides that? Yeah.
Nope, you're good. So Sarkis, as you are rounding the northwest side of the building, you're going to see a very similar looking creature as the revenants that you all fought from the chapel some time ago, who is standing out and in view. Give me 1 second to actually confirm which window right now. Yeah, so the third story to the right of the chimneys, you're going to see a figure who walks past the window, glances out, and makes eye contact with you, and just stares silently, passively, while you and Flea continue along as you're moving around the building.
I'll just let him know that we've definitely been spotted.
Yeah, so like once you let Flea know, he looks up and he sees the same figure there.
And do we see anything that looks like an entrance, like or a way in?
I mean, as far as things go, like I think you guys already know that there's essentially entrances to the chapel on the lowest level. Like all of these windows are effectively like very similar to like arrow slits. So you could probably climb and enter this castle in a lot of different places. But other than that, realistically, you have the main entrance, the spiders, or the chapel.
And how high is the actual like roof or like roof floor, whatever you want to call it?
The castle itself is probably 60 feet or so, maybe 80.
Okay, I guess we'll go for the chapel then.
So if you all are going to kind of redirect to that area, again, you can place yourselves on the map here. And the first thing that you all are going to need to do is to start to scale over the fence to get into the graveyard.
Are we coming from the north over there?
It's up to you. It's purely up to you guys at this point.
Okay, we'll just assume we're coming from the north. I'll just jump over it.
How tall's the fence?
About 7 feet tall, just a little bit taller than yourself. It's like a cast iron fence.
Can I try to jump up over it?
What are you gonna do?
Let me think. Let's do like the full Assassin's Creed run up the wall to grab the ledge. Let's do that instead.
How much of a run up are you giving yourself?
I'll give myself about 15 feet.
And what wall are you running up?
The cast iron wall that we're all at.
All right, the fence.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Do an athletics check. Flea's just gonna climb up the mausoleum on the northwest or northeast side, and just kind of sit down on the roof as he watches all of this. So yeah, with a little bit of a run up as you place like a foot and then a second foot into the fence. By the time you start to like lose that initial momentum, you're able to push yourself off and make a dexterity saving throw. And you are able to land firmly on the ground on the other side of the fence.
I do like a gymnast who ended their jump kind of pose.
How would you like to get over, Ninya?
Is it possible she could fit through the gap to the fence?
Why would you be able to fit through?
Tiny people fit through tiny spaces.
Make a Constitution saving throw. You squeeze yourself down and start to push through the fence, and keeping calm as your rib cage starts to kind of like push up against the different sides of the cast iron. Just keep exhaling and very calmly just keep sliding through and making sure not to panic. You're able to slide right through the fence. And then Flea's just going to kind of twist around from the shingles, lowering himself to the ground. He will join you all inside.
Does he land on all fours like a cat?
Yeah, and I guess maybe he'll shake his ass a little bit, as if he had a tail, which he definitely does not have a tail.
I'll just like cautiously move up to the mausoleum looking entrance.
Oh yeah, my bad. The flea is by the mausoleum, so you're like moving towards the chapel. There's just that stair ahead of you, and then there's like a couple of turrets that rise into the sky. But otherwise, you have like a 3-story chapel, kind of directly to the south of you there.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant, not mausoleum. I said mausoleum because you said it. I meant chapel. But when we get over there, probably would like look to see is there some sort of like lock, or does it just appear like we can just open the door?
It just seems to be a handle before you, and eventually, as you kind of pull on it softly, it's not going to give. It seems like the door is locked.
Please see if you can pick it.
It takes a moment to look over the door, trying to look. It seems like perhaps it's barred from the other side.
Maybe we should try one of the windows. I don't know if we'll be strong enough to break it down, and it'll definitely cause a commotion. But I think they noticed us anyway. Is there a window around where we're at right now?
So, probably about 5 or 10 feet to the west of that little entrance, there's stained glass that you could break into. Otherwise, like underneath where you saw the person who was standing on the third floor, there's windows on that level that are about 10 feet off the foundation. But those are kind of the initial windows that you have choices of.
If one of you has a rope, I could tie it to my waist, and then I could jump up there, and you could climb up after me once I secure it.
I got a rope.
I do have a rope.
Perfect. So either Flea could just climb up there, or I will just tie it to my rope and jump up there. Either one. I just figure since he's not here, like using him as least as possible is ideal.
How big is Eric?
I'm 6 feet.
How much do you weigh?
Let me check. $200.
That's pretty slender. Um, do we want to enter through the window where we saw that person? Do we want to climb to the top and come from the roof?
I would think that we would go in one where we didn't see someone, and the roof looks at least 60 or 80 feet up. And once we get up there, who knows what way in there is? So maybe just go for the second floor.
So do you want to go in underneath where you saw that person, basically? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, we'll just go for the window that is under the person.
Gotcha. So yeah, I mean, Flea can definitely do climbing. Um, in the long run, you're definitely on that same level of you can pretty much climb without any risk because if you fall, you're fine. But yeah, that's pretty easy effort. Essentially, anybody who would like to follow entering through a window. On some level, you will have to break it.
I'll follow.
Oh shit, my bad. I actually missed something. Let me see. My apologies. This was me making an assumption that I failed at. You guys would actually have seen there's an iron gate on the north side. My bad. I feel like this is what you were asking for before, and I just wasn't prepared with the answer for it. So there is like an auxiliary gate to this place on that north side. Let me just have. What is it? We've got 3 of you right now. Let me have each of you roll a d6, and then we'll have Flea rolling the 4th. So Flea gets 1 re-roll for his proficiency in Thieves' Tools. Nunya, roll another d6. So as he moves up to the lock over here, he is able to take just a few moments. You all hear like a little bit of a click as he kind of like whinges, and you hear as he kind of like loses the tension, but he already kind of has a really good feel for this lock. And as he takes another moment to reset the initial 3 pins, he goes back, or initial 2 pins, he goes back for that third, gets it in place. See a little bit of a smirk on his face as he gets another pin, and as you hear just the slightest little bit of click from the 4th pin, the padlock is going to drop open. And you guys can enter through this iron gate at the north side. So I have to hide this now. Let me prepare that to show you guys the lower level. So as he opens the gate, there's a little bit of a squeal to it. And he very quickly is going to stop, take out a little bit of, he's got a flask of oil for his lantern, and drop some oil into the hinges along the gate and continue to open it. And it still like whinges a little bit with a little bit of a squeak. But the more that he very slowly starts to move it open enough for you all to start to slip into this area, the less the noise goes as the oil starts to penetrate into the hinges. But you guys are going to open up into this little entrance where you have stairs that go about 10 feet up from ground level to that first level, like above the foundation, both to the east or to the west. And as you look in either direction, you're going to see, I think these are big wooden doors in this place. So yeah, so you can see those like doors off to either side. Because I forgot about this and you were already thinking about entering at a higher level, do you still want to like diverge away from this and climb in, or are you guys like happy with this idea of going someplace where you don't have to break into a window?
I feel like going through a door is better than breaking glass.
The quieter, the better.
Yeah, I'm good with this. I mean, we're already here, so
Gotcha. So let me get stealths from everyone. And what direction do you want to start to head? You've got a door to the east and a door to the west.
If we get decided, I'm going to spin an arrow.
Yeah, I'm good with randomization. I have no preference one way or the other.
So odd east, even west.
Works for me.
Somebody chuck a die. So again, you guys can place your miniatures as you start to wander through here, and you can move off to the eastern door. As you start to feel for the door, Circus, doesn't seem to have any resistance to it. It seems like if you start to push and open it, you'll be able to just open the door.
Stand back just in case it's trapped. And I'll open the door once they get out of the way.
So as you open the door, but I feel like kind of pulling on it, you see inside that this room has all of the windows kind of like covered with drapes from within. Everything seems to be very tattered and old. There's definitely like a deep kind of musky odor to the room. The air is not necessarily stagnant, but there is like a level of it's stale and moldy. But like as an initial feel, this is a room that's been ignored for some time.
So is it like beds lining against the wall, or are they like chests?
Yeah, as you look around, there's a lot of different beds that are just encircling this area. All of them are moldy and tattered and seem to be ignored. You have a door directly to the south of you. It's another wooden door. And I think the southern side is like a single chest of drawers.
I'll check the chest.
You're gonna like check it and smash it with a short sword. Or you're just gonna kind of look through it real quick. What are you thinking?
I'm just gonna like look through it.
You can roll investigation. Just going through it, it looks like a lot of pretty like simple clothing. Nothing ornate, nothing that looks like armor. Roll a insight. Just seeing kind of very basic clothing in this room and like the six beds, you have a pretty good understanding that this is probably servants' quarters and that whoever was put up here has not been here for quite some time. There really doesn't seem to be anything valuable about this. If these people who lived here ever had anything of value, it was probably not much as far as value to an adventurer.
I'll go to the door and try to open it or open it.
Let's see. That door is going to open inward and basically towards the other door that you guys had to pull out into that hallway. As you see inside of that room, you're gonna notice it seems to be a abandoned kitchen. There's a hearth to the southeast, where you wait to the east, where you all have seen the chimneys from the outside. There's a few different preparation areas that seem to be ignored over time. Couple of windows on either side of the hearth itself, and then there's like pots and pans kind of hanging around. And then there's a bunch of like rusted utensils scattered across the ground that seem to be rusting over time. And some broken tables and other like kind of furnishing that you would expect maybe they were here for the servants to eat. When you all start to prepare to move into that room, you can roll stealth checks. As you all move into the kitchen, um, Flea and Sarkis keeping pretty quiet. You hear like a little bit of the uh, silverware getting kind of disturbed as Nunya kind of moves through, but Eric is definitely just like stepping over a piece of the silverware, and there's just like a loud snap, and everybody's just gonna hold still for a moment. You just kind of hold yourselves and listen. Doesn't seem like the castle is reacting to you being here, but there's definitely a moment of high tension as you start to wonder if something heard that little bit of a slip up.
Is that another door down here to the southeast?
Yep, the southeast is the door, is the only other door out of this place. It's another wooden door. Um, Seems pretty similar to all the rest.
Keep on keeping on.
So if you are moving up to it and just preparing to open it, that door is going to open inward into the kitchen. And as you start to see around into this room, you'll see that there is a large table that's running north to south. There are a bunch of finer chairs that seem scattered about the room. Most of them are still up to the actual table. Some of them are actually destroyed. This particular part of the castle has water dripping inside of it, so there's definitely another like strong stench of like a musky mold kind of growing in this area. Table's about 20 feet long, has like dragon sculpted looking legs to it. You'll see that there are, I feel like, okay, yeah. Standing in like the northeast and the southeast side of this room, there are two knights that are standing at attention and overlooking this room, each of them in their own little alcove. The door to the east, a double set of doors, is open to the chapel, And to the west, northwest, there is a double set of doors that seems to open off into that western area. And you'll see that there is another door to the southwest, as well as another door very much like directly south of you in the 20-foot long dining table.
Any of y'all familiar with these things? I'm whispering.
Oh, and actually, there's a crystal chandelier that is over the table itself that is emanating light.
Like magical light or like candlelight?
Uh, roll a perception check, or you don't have Arcana with him, right? Yeah. Roll a perception. You can see the light flickering, but there are no candles, and it's all of the crystals. It's a pretty beautiful thing to behold, but you're reasonably sure there is a magical light that has been cast on the chandelier.
And Eric, when you said what were we familiar with this? What were you referring to?
The suit of armors.
Lee and I encountered some armors before, a long time ago, with a couple of our other companions, and when we touched them, they came to life, and well, that was when I fell. We should keep our distance. I'll like go up towards this one here, like keeping like a nice big breath like around the armor.
Just going right to the chapel.
Didn't you say the chapel was where you fought him the first time?
What was that?
The first time we encountered that was through the chapel, right?
Yeah, I want to say that's where Flea like climbed up the first time.
So we're going to enter the doors to the chapel.
Yeah, sure.
So let me get stealth checks from everybody. So as you all move past the large statues that certainly seem lifelike, but neither Flea nor Sarkis has any reason to believe are the same as the soldiers you have fought before, you're going to start to approach these doors, and you'll feel Flea's hand from behind you, Sarkis, almost tug a little bit at your tunic as you round that corner, and you're going to see that there are 3 of these warriors who are standing at the pedestal of the chapel, inside of the glow of all of the stained glass windows along the eastern side of the chapel. And they all seem to be head bowed in some sort of prayer. And you can just hear the low kind of vowel intonation as they continue just. What are you all doing?
I don't know. I feel like the fortune is like super vague. It pretty much says nothing. The only thing I can like gather from it is that there's something here we need to kill with at the edge of a blade, quote unquote, or like basically just kill. I don't know. They look like they're like worshiping like an altar basically.
Yeah, essentially they look like they are currently in prayer. They are not focused on you all, or at least not acting as if they noticed that you were there.
Well, let's look for the highest peak. So maybe we need to like climb up.
Well, I feel like our decisions are to try to just avoid these guys and keep going and have them potentially come at us from the backside if they do notice us, or try to dispatch them and see what they're like worshiping, if that is like of importance potentially to us.
So you guys have clearly encountered these. Can you tell? Oh, do you have any insight for me if we do go into battle with them? What? Anything I need to know?
Not really. We pretty much just like fought one of them outside. He was like a melee dude, and we were pretty low level, but he was like wasn't bad, but wasn't like crazy. So we really don't know anything about him. They're just like some sort of like undead knights. They have the ability to speak and comprehend common, but we're not particularly like useful or friendly.
They do want to kill you, force you into their dragon cult, though.
Yeah, I say we go for combat and try to see what they are worshiping. Potentially, it could be like useful or important.
Um, like, are you just trying to like get a better look at the altar? You could try to do a perception check from there. Yeah, so like looking over the altar, it doesn't seem like there's anything in particular that they are worshiping in here. This seems to be three of those creatures that are just in prayer.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't really know what we're here for specifically. I'm assuming that there's something that we need to kill and potentially something that we need to get. So if this does not seem particularly enticing, try to just sneak away and continue on.
Do they all look the same? Like, or is there one that looks more like a high priest kind of looking one?
You can do a perception check. While they're not clones of themselves, they all have their own differentiation about them. But as far as things go, they all look like the dead. And there's little else to kind of pick out about them other than that there is most certainly some sort of magic that is keeping these creatures alive. despite otherwise looking like dead humans or humanoids.
Sarkis, would you know anything about the undead? If they have any weaknesses or resistances?
I know nothing. Yeah, I don't think we've really encountered like any undead. Vampires, werewolves, that's pretty much it. So, all right. Well, I guess I'll try to just like sneak and creep our way back out of here towards the northwest entrance.
Yeah, so you all can do stealth checks at advantage.
Well, I mean, we did encounter zombies at one point. If you want to go that far as undead.
Part of the funniest part of this whole campaign is how many people expect to fight undead constantly, and it's just a flavor of the campaign.
Oh yeah, I did forget about those zombies. But yeah, I mean the only thing I've really picked up, Eric, from like fighting any of the crazy creatures here is that if you have a magic weapon, it's ideal to use that against them. But that's not even for everything. It's like for certain things.
Gotcha.
So where are you all going? There's those 5 doors. You came from the kitchen in the north. You're reasonably sure that the southern one leads to the spiders in the south. The chapel is the east one that you are currently like walking away from. You have an open set of doors to the northwest.
Yeah, I mean I would think if we're trying to be sneaky, we'd take the open door and go for the least sound to at least get a little distance from these guys before we potentially flub a roll.
Makes sense.
So as you start to peek through this area, I'm still assuming that you have a torch going, by the way, because yeah, this place is dark most of the place. So
Oh yeah, definitely.
as you start to look through these doors, you're going to see that there is another door about like 10 or 20 feet ahead of you to the north. There is a grand staircase that starts to lead upward directly south of you. And then it's basically, you have a pretty solid sense that it's a T form, that it goes north to south as well as has stairs up from the west there. And you can see that there's a pillar directly in front of you holding the upper level that basically covers everything directly west of where you are, is underneath the balcony above. And that continues up into another little alcove on the end. You can't tell if there's another one of those lifelike knights all the way down this hall, but you have a pretty solid sense. Who would it be? Nunya would have a pretty solid sense that as far as you all can see before, like into that like little alcove on the western side, is likely pretty close to the north or the western side, the main entrance to this castle, at least on this level. This is a very grand grand like foyer, where you would enter into this main part of the castle. But you can otherwise spot, um, I guess, minimal signs of another set of doors in the northwest. And as far as things go, how symmetrical things are, you're pretty sure then that there are going to be doors on the south that start to lead into the area that was in ruins.
I think he has the right idea. Go for the stairs and try to go up.
So give me a moment here. I am going to black you all out as I switch you over to the next layer. Right, I feel like, oh yeah, I described that poorly because of how I was looking at it. Yeah, you have to like walk around to the western side, and then you can walk up the stairs as you're heading east, and then from that central portion, you can either walk north up to the second flight or south up to the second flight. But that gets you to the balcony.
Yeah, makes sense. I feel like 2D stairs always are like kind of deceptive, like that crazy set of stairs. It's like the infinite stairwell.
Yeah, like when you just do like hashtag dungeons, like just hash dungeons, the like wider, well, that's a terrible part where I drew it because it's partly in the shadows for you all. But the wider it gets, the higher it is, and that gives you like a good perspective of a stair. So like often you'll see like 3 lines, and that means a stair. And it's so much easier than like once they're artistic, it's kind of hard to figure out.
Yeah, it makes
And
sense to kind of like give you the depth perception.
yeah, and I hate reading from the book. This is definitely one of those things where I'm like vaguely prepared for this thing, but I didn't prepare it for today. So you all have north or south to go.
North it is.
So heading off to the north, let's actually get a stealth from you all. And what's the overall
1
marching?
second.
Are you all going like Sarkis and Flea first? What are you guys thinking as far as marching order right now?
Probably like me and Eric up front. I feel like Flea always tries to stay towards the back. Unless you want to be up front, Nunya.
I'm fine wherever.
I don't know. I kind of feel wherever I can be the most versatile. So, like, if someone's in trouble, I can jump to them real quick.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to jump to somebody in need, like being at the front is a great way for them to never be in need. So probably at the front until shit hits the fan.
Works for me.
So I feel like you're going to see 3 doors from where you're at. To the east, to the north, kind of just northeast of where you're walking up the stairs. And each side of that door kind of flanked by like stone knights who are carved like in bas relief out of those they're almost like kind of support like columns, but basically there's like stone knights that are kind of flanking that door just to the west of the stairs. There seems to be another door about 30 or so feet down the hallway on the north end. And then, what is it? Sarkis, you do not have dark vision, but Nunya has dark vision, right?
Nope, no dark vision for me.
Dark vision for me.
Roll an intelligence for me. Nunya. Yeah, so that's the initial choice kind of to you all. is you've got these 3 doors along this northern balcony.
Do they all pretty much look the same?
So far inside of this place, they've pretty much all been these same very firm wooden doors. Probably the only one that's looks really remotely different was some of those in the servants' halls seem to be a little bit lesser doors. But yeah, up here, you're pretty sure that you're in like the area of whoever would have built this place would have been the noble. These are pretty nice areas. So it's kind of hard to tell from any of them. Um, but again, like the door that is central, the one that is kind of just northwest of the stair, that's the one that's flanked by 2 knights.
Gotcha. And does it seem like this is accurate distance, 10 feet, basically between the 2 knights?
Yes, yeah. This is all set to distance.
That's what I would imagine we need to go. And if we're right about the statues, they'll come to life when we get close. I will creep up cautiously and attempt to move in between the 2 of them, expecting them to come to life.
Roll a perception check. My bad, I'm on a different screen. What'd you roll?
15.
And everybody else is staying on the balcony or on the stairs?
I'll climb to the top of the stairs.
So, as you move up and are hesitantly approaching these, you don't gain a sense that they're moving. But as you get a little bit closer to them, your light is going to scatter down the hallway. And at this point, Nunya is going to be able to recognize that there's a spiral staircase on the western side of this hall. So you kind of have 4 exits at this point. You got stairs to the west, a door to the east, a door to the north of you, and then another door that's kind of just a little bit northwest.
And are these 2 knights, are they like suits of armor like we saw before, or are they like statues?
These are statues. These are like carved out of the actual like column of the castle.
Okay, I got you.
Even the nights before, just kind of walking past them, that you guys saw in that like dining area, those were incredibly lifelike, and they could have been some of those animating armors, but as far as you could tell, those were stonework as well.
Yeah, so I say we just keep going up and skip past this.
Yep, keep going higher.
I have no clue why I revealed that in the least bit. Let's join you all back up together here. And I'm about to black you out again. For some reason, the reset fog button doesn't work anymore. It's fucking annoying.
Hey, while you're doing that, can I just make a quick little attack to see if I fix my D&D Beyond to
Oh, 100%. What were you looking for the auto roll twice?
for the automatic damage roll? Nope, it didn't do that. Okay.
If you look at that picture that I just posted inside of the Fright Night Discord, those are the two important things. So like where it auto rolls, like the second one there, which I mean that's an improvement. You got closer to it. But the one that's like 3 below it is the auto roll damage and crit. That's the other one that's important. And it might be as simple as that's just turned off right now. But yeah, as you all come up from this little spiral staircase, you are going to see another hall before you. There is a door on the north of you, just a little bit to the east, about 5-10 feet in front of Sarkis there. You can see some ruins and rubble in front of you, and a little bit of the. Yeah, I have no clue what time it is right now. Yeah, you guys left in the morning, so there's easily some like kind of gloom of the dusk from the day above you coming through this like hole in the roof. You are reasonably sure that the person that spotted you is or was in that like northwestern spire is all that comes to mind at present. You have a reasonable idea that there's going to be a door on the east side of this hall that leads to the north where that person was. But other than that, you can see the hall seems to stop just at the edge of your light. And there's like in that ruins, there might be a hall that starts to go to the south there.
So I think go towards where we think that guy would be, or that creature would be.
Let's get a round of stealth checks from you. All right. So as you start to move down the hallway, you're going to see a door along the eastern end start to kind of show up just in like the gloomy dim light. Signs that there is a door just south of that. And then probably about like where you are, 40 foot east of you, there's a door to the north where you expect to find that person that you've seen. But before you get to that, like after you kind of see that along this hallway, you're going to start to see the signs of your light opening up into the collapsed portions of this. And you'll see that there's damage to this area, and you're scattering light beyond where you might like being expecting of the light to go.
I'll just like creep along down there and kind of peep it out, but head towards that door, the north east.
So if the light's picking up on like the debris, is it just like glass or it's like shattered like crystal chandeliers?
I think you're gonna see a lot of signs of it's like tile and wood. Not so much any glass or like crystallized glass that you would expect on that level. Um, but as you move closer to that corner circus, you'll be able to actually, yeah, roll a perception for me here. As you get close to that hallway that's leading off to the south, you can see that just to the south of you, after about 5 or 10 feet, the walls are shattered in that direction. If you head too much further with light, you're going to start to be casting light in multiple directions on this level. Roll an insight. Yeah, so at this point, this might be the time where um, the torch is dangerous. You know, Flea has a hooded lantern. If you want to move forward, at very least, the hooded lantern gives you a little bit of directional light, so you can stop casting light in all directions. But moving too much further down this area, you may be revealing yourselves.
I actually have a bullseye lantern, so I guess maybe we could use that instead. That probably would
Oh
be a
yeah,
good
that's 100% what I was getting at. So if you just throw some oil into that and put out the actual torch, your bullseye is going to help you here as you can control the direction that your light is going in.
Yeah, it says it casts bright light in a 60-foot cone and dim light for an additional 60 feet, and burns for 6 hours on one flask. So I guess we could use that. I don't know why I don't use that more often, but
And if there's ever need for more oil, I have some.
I'm not sure. I think I have one flask of oil, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so as you center your self a little bit, um, was that 39? Yeah, that's 7 minutes, probably about this. Let me get another stealth roll from everybody here. Oh, you guys are trying. Oh no. I think that's going to be the one. Yeah, so as you start to move over the rubble, you're going to hear a voice from that southwestern hall. The devil sent you. Do you come to join my ranks?
Neither. We're hoping to end your curse and take care of whatever plagues this place.
And my Ah. And you're just gonna hear like a firm footstep and the clank of metal armor. Gives you a pretty solid understanding that this person has just stood up somewhere off to the west of you.
Like southwest?
Yep.
Okay, I want to like relocate so we're not all like bunched up and just like run across the little like gap there real quick. And I'm just gonna say, we mean to defeat the devil, and if we have to deal with you in the meantime, we will.
You can't fool me. If you've come to destroy me, stand your ground and enjoy true combat.
We're here seeking answers. We know not why, but we were led here by fortune. Can I make a like? I guess like I want to try to convince him. Persuasion, I guess.
Yeah, what are you saying? Like, are you just leaving it at we were led here by fortune?
Oh yeah, I mean I'm like trying to make him. You said that he kind of thinks we're trying to deceive him, and we're really not. I don't think. I don't think we really know why we're here. We were definitely led here by the cards. So I think just trying to persuade him that we know we're supposed to be here, but not necessarily for combat. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna use my Hobbit abilities.
Is that your first one?
No, I had another one other time ever. Much better. A 4.
And again, what are you saying to him?
We don't know why, but we've been led here. That it would help us on our path to defeat the devil. Some sort of item or accomplishment, but we don't know what.
If you have come here to free this land from the creatures that feast on blood, know this. There is no monster I hate more than Strahd van Zarovich. He slew Argynvost, broke the life of the knight I loved, and destroyed the valiant order to which I devote my life. God has died once and must not be allowed to die again. His suffering is eternal, and it cannot be allowed to end. He suffers evermore in this place. And you're just slowly hearing as this voice and the footsteps are just doom, 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 moving to the east. Are you shining your light down that western or down that southern part of the hall there? Or do you have
I
something?
I will shine it now. down that area where I hear the footsteps coming from. And as I do, I will say, if you speak the truth and you wish to destroy the devil, then aid us. Join us in this battle. But if you stand in our way, we will be forced to defeat you as well.
So as you cast light down, you're going to see this just rotten physique of a human. Their flesh is like sunken down into their bones. Just a dark crimson red glow to the pupils of their eyes. Just white, stark, lifeless hair. And this person is wearing pretty heavy armor and carrying a pretty massive shield. Cannot be killed. Misery and unrest must be the punishment he suffers for Argynvost.
I would like to chime in and say something.
Don't tell me, show me.
Okay. Excuse me, sir. But wouldn't you want to know what your followers to be at peace if Strahd is destroyed?
His life has been ended before. His life may end again, but he will return. And as he finishes that response, all of you down the hallway are going to see as his face just kind of shows, and he's standing right between you all. Just calm. There's no emotion. There's no life to this creature. And just very simply, hate. Hate for Strad von Zarovich.
What is your name? Who are you?
You're just going to hear the sound of the door behind you open, and a voice. He is Vladimir Horngard, commander of the Knights of the Silver Dragon. And we all swore allegiance hundreds of years ago to obey his command and defend Argynvost. And he's going to bow his head, and you'll recognize this is the figure who's already seen you outside.